coach. I am the founder of the podcast Wake Up Sisterhood and the online programs Calling in Your King and Discover Your Worth. Now, part 2 of Once a Cheater, Always a Cheater. Now, if you were on my page a couple of days ago, you would have seen that I had popped up a video around cheating. Once a cheater, always a cheater. Now, my truth may not be your truth, but let's have a conversation here around this. I believe that once a cheater, always a cheater is a load of BS. And if you haven't watched the video I did a few days ago, go back and tune into that. But what I'm going to say here is check in with yourself right now. Have you gossiped before? Is there a point in your life where you've gone to your friends and you've gossiped? Does that make you a gossiper? Have you stolen from somebody before, even something tiny? Does that make you a thief, like for the rest of your life? I say this because so often in life we are labeling people things. And a lot of people may have experienced like being cheated on or may have done it themselves. And I'm here to challenge your story of once a cheater, always a cheater, because in my eyes, this is a load of BS. And it's a label that we're giving a human. And what I'm getting at here is that we are all human beings. We are all human beings having a human experience, doing our best, learning and growing as we go through life. And yes, some people cheat. And I speak that because I've been that person before. I did it once many years ago, and I never did it again. So once a cheater, always a cheater does not resonate for me one little bit. Now, I also want to speak into how cheating actually served me in my life. At that moment that I was at in my life, cheating actually did serve me. And secondly, what I want to tune into here is some of the reasons why people do cheat. Now, there's many reasons people cheat, but what happens is in a relationship or someone's dating someone or someone's married to someone and then they cheat, instantly we make our own stories up about that person, and we deem them bad and like not a good person, and they've ruined the relationship and all of these things. And as a coach, I have learned to deeply honor both people in the situation and actually get curious being the key word here, as to why these things happen. Now, these are a couple of reasons that people will cheat. The first one being sabotage. A lot of people in relationships, and I'm going to speak as a woman who has been cheated on multiple times. What I see and what I've learned along my time and going deep in this work and like finding this level of compassion for all humans is this sabotage comes in for somebody, and they may have this most beautiful relationship. They may have the perfect person in their life. It's like too good to be true in a way. And so they go out and they sleep with somebody else, or they start texting somebody else, or they do something else that is classed as cheating. And cheating is different for all of us. To me, in my eyes, cheating is even texting, having a flirty conversation in text with somebody else. It doesn't have to be going to bed with somebody. That's for me. It could be something different for you. But these things sometimes happen because that person is in such a beautiful relationship that they like actually feel like they're not good enough for that relationship. They have this deep story that they're not good enough to have such a too good to be true relationship. So let me go out and sabotage this so it ends. And so I hurt myself before that person hurts me. That's the number one reason people cheat. The second thing is they may not be in love with you. You may not be their person. They may, especially men, like as a woman who helps women to understand men, women listening to this, men are always giving us signs. It's up to us to listen and hear their signs. And so often at the beginning of like a girl dating a guy, the man will be like, oh, hey, like I don't really want anything serious, but I would love to hang out. And so in that, he's been so direct and clear with you of like, hey, I just want to like have something casual. I'm not really wanting anything serious. But what women do in this situation is women only hear what they want to hear. And I've been this woman before so many times where I'm like, maybe he'll change his mind eventually. Like if I just stay around long enough, maybe he'll change his mind that then he'll finally want to be with me. Doesn't work that way. And what happens is a couple of months down the line, the girl's like, well, he had like, I need him to be serious with me. Like I need him to like make me his girlfriend. But he's already told you 2 months ago that he just wants something casual. So here you are trying to change him to fit into what you want and need. But he's already stated at the very beginning, hey, I don't want that. Like this is what I want. So ladies, men are always giving us signs. Always. It's up to us to listen to those signs. The next thing is that these beliefs, and this comes back to the sabotage again, these beliefs of I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy of love. And so men and women cheat. It doesn't matter if you're a man or you're a woman. It can happen to anybody. Anybody can do it. And it's sometimes comes from a very deep belief or something that's happened in their past that hasn't been looked at and faced off with. And so they're carrying forward this belief of I'm not good enough, or I'm not worthy enough. So then they sabotage, again, coming back to point one, they sabotage anything good in their life. The last point I want to make, the last reason somebody may cheat, and this is in like maybe you've been in a long relationship or you're married and you've been in a relationship for a very long time. Often someone will cheat because they're not getting what they want and need from their partner. So this one can sting a little. This one can sting because there's two people in every relationship and it takes two to tango. And so if one person isn't being fulfilled, isn't having their needs met, they're going to go elsewhere to get their needs met. That's the truth. That's what's going to happen. And so if you're in a relationship or you have been cheated on, sit in that question of like, oh, what was my role in this? Where was I not showing up for my husband? Or where was I not showing up for my wife that this actually played out? Because this is like real talk and it stings because as humans are so programmed to blame. So when somebody cheats, a human being is so programmed to be like, you cheated, it's your fault. That's a load of shit. It's both of you. That person that cheated, yeah, they did something super ineffective, but how can you come back to you and like how you were not showing up effectively or asking the question of like on a regular basis of like, hey babe, what do you feel you need from me that you may not be getting? And it's about like leaning into your relationship and about going where you haven't gone and like being a part of the solution, because in a relationship, this can happen. And I don't believe it's anyone's fault. It's that you haven't been communicating. There's been no communication there. And so what I'm getting at in this whole live is that as human beings, we get to have compassion. We get to have compassion for all other human beings. And when things like this happen, if you get cheated on, get curious. Where were you not showing up for that person? And that's not always the case. So I'm just speaking to like certain people here. If you've been cheated on by somebody that constantly shows up and cheats on you, that is their stuff. That is their own stuff. Like they may be sabotaging, they may have like a deep belief of I'm not worthy enough or I'm not good enough to be loved by this person. So let me sabotage it so that I hurt myself before they hurt me. You don't know what's going on for them. But as humans, we make assumptions over and over and over and over again. We make a story up about what we want to believe about why that person did that. And that does not work. And so find compassion. Find deep compassion for that that person and get really curious. If you're in a relationship with somebody who's constantly cheating on you, set your boundaries and or walk away. Literally. Let that person be in their journey. Let that person, choose to go deep within their own healing. And somebody wrote on my Instagram the other day, until somebody does this work, basically they're a cheater, and until they do the work or choose to do the work, they'll keep cheating. And I also don't agree with that, because I cheated once, and as soon as I did that, the next day I was like, I'm not going to do that again. And that was 10 years before I started my growth journey. And so for me, cheating actually served me so powerfully in my life. And it's not something I regret at all. And it's something I deeply learned from. Doing the inner work will have you move 10 steps forward 10 times faster. And so whether you're in a relationship right now or whether you're single, it's so powerful to do the work. I agree with that so much. It's this way of expediting your growth in a very short amount of time. But point to this is, please get curious. If you have gossiped before, does that make you a gossiper? If you have stolen before, does that make you a thief? Stop labeling people once a cheater, always a cheater, and get curious. Get super freaking curious and see how, if you have had this done to you, what your part was in that, what your role was in that. I love you guys so much. For any woman out there who wants to sign up for the last round of Calling in Your King for this year, it's open for early bird enrollment now. There's only a couple of early bird tickets left. You can find the link in my bio, or you can actually just PM me and I can send it to you. I love you guys so much. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you are on Instagram, type a comment, reach out to me, send me a private message. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day.